All right, my friends, we are on to the next section. We are still talking about fantasy. Today, we're going to be talking about fantasy, good and evil, and also an author's word choice when he's talking about that. So, a lot of times in fantasy stories, the author, there's very clear-cut good and evil, sometimes not so much. But most of the time, you've got pretty good guys, and then you got the bad guys. So, we're going to title our notes fantasy, good versus evil. And we're going to be making a chart for this one as well. So once you get the title written down, you are going to flip your notebook as usual. Move my stuff out of the way here. You're going to flip your notebook as usual. I'm going to find that nice faint red line that I've got going right here. And I'm going to go from red line to red line, all the way down, bring it up to that faint red line. That way I know where my box is. Now I'm going to make a nice thin, skinny section right here. I'm going to put title, because we always need to know the title of the story we're talking about. That's going to be my first column. Then I'm going to have a nice big column that says good. And then a skinny little column that says VS. And when you have VS, that is an abbreviation for the word versus or against. So they're competing against each other, and we're seeing how they're different. Good versus, and then last section is evil. Okay. So, then I have this giant section right in here, and I want to split that in half. We're going to be talking about two different books today. The first book that I want to discuss is The Lorax. I knew you knew that. And when we stop and we think back on the Lorax, we have to think, who is my good character and who is my bad character? And so I'm thinking about what happened in the Lorax and who was in there, and the fact that we had somebody come through and start chopping down truffle trees and polluting the air, and who kept telling him to stop doing that. The good guy in the Lorax was none other than the Lorax himself. We're going to do the Lorax versus, oops, I just flung my pen across, versus our evil character. Who is our evil character? Who is the person, the antagonist or the bad guy in the story? And if I'm thinking about the Lorax, the guy that was going up against the Lorax himself is the Onceler, who chopped down trees and ruined the, that word's not going to fit there, environment. He chopped down those trees. He ruined the environment. He was definitely the bad guy in our story. He was not very nice. He didn't listen to the Lorax. He didn't follow the Lorax's advice, and eventually everything in that area was destroyed, and there was nothing left, nothing beautiful left. All right, so our very next story is going to be, nope, it's not Westlandia. It's actually going to be Probudiddy. So here is Probudiddy. And we're looking at who the good character is in the Probudiddy. And we actually have two main characters. We have Trudy. And we also had Calvin. And our good character was Trudy. And she was up against versus Calvin, who would not let Trudy play with him. So we have Trudy, who's up against Probability. Trudy versus Calvin. Calvin wouldn't let Trudy play with him. And we were going through the story, but as we go through the story, we find out that maybe Trudy was pretending to be hypnotized, and she was the one who actually got Calvin in trouble. So was Trudy the good character, or was Calvin the good character? Because in one situation, Trudy was a good character because Calvin would not let Trudy play with them. In the other situation, Calvin could be considered the good character because he was up against Trudy, who pretended to be hypnotized. Even though she wasn't. So always remember, good versus evil. It kind of depends on what side of the story you're on. It depends on your point of view. Trudy could be the good character, or Calvin could be the good character in that probability. All right, be ready to discuss good versus evil and explain why you think that character was evil or not a good person in your next class. And I will see you guys next time.